What is up, YouTube? This is Angel here from Strengthisfirst, and this will be the start of a new video series I'd like to dedicate to answering questions about intermediates in their current strength level in the barbell squat, bench press, overhead press, and deadlift. And the first question I like to get started with the series is you should think about what you want to do after you finish your beginner program. You might have been familiar that as a beginner, you can make progress with just about any program and get better in terms of speed, explosiveness, power, strength, muscle mass. You can make progress with any single fitness attribute and do any single exercise for a certain period of time. After that period of time is over, when you hit an intermediate level, you will begin to notice that you cannot get everything you want in a certain program, but you can still make very fast progress if you have a specific goal in mind. And what exactly is an intermediate level lifter, you might ask? Well, in this description, I will be posting a website that lists strength levels for a beginner lifter, an intermediate lifter, an advanced lifter, and even an elite level lifter for the squat, bench press, deadlift, and overhead press. So you can go check that out to see where you stand, and that should clear up all the confusions you have on what I mean between a beginner level lifter in lifting weights versus an intermediate level lifter in lifting weights. So at this point, you should begin to narrow down your goals, but still have an open mind of exactly what it is you want to do. For instance, as a beginner, you might be running a linear progression program, probably a general barbell program that targets the big four, and exactly what I did when I was a beginner. Now, as you transition into the intermediate phase, you might want to still continue that, which is what I did. And instead of making or finding something else to do that incorporates a lot of cardio, you want to still stick to training with the barbell. And instead of adding weights every single workout as a beginner, you will probably need to add weights every cycle, which is every single week, which is a bit slower, but you're still going to make pretty decent and steady progress. Now, if you are deciding on whether or not to pick just one goal or start off with two goals, keep in mind that while you do not have the luxury of trying out a lot of different activities like a beginner, you will see some resistance later on or in very short time of possible plateaus, injuries, or even setbacks, because let's face it, you're very efficient at the barbell lifts at this very moment. And if you're trying to go for multiple goals at the same time, just like you were as a beginner, it will not be a very happy ending for you. However, that's not to say that you can't do multiple goals at the same time. Just in my experience, when I have combined multiple goals and wanting to increase both strength, my explosiveness, build muscle, and try to train for a sport, that didn't turn out very well. And as a result, my expectations were just very high, and I couldn't meet that in the end. But you probably have seen some lifters, on the other hand, they run power building programs that combine both strength gain and muscle mass gain in one program, and they are able to put on a substantial amount of muscle mass at the end of their cycles and gain a very respectable increase in their 1 rep maxes. Again, something you need to experiment with yourself and to ask yourself what it is you really want and how badly do you want to achieve it. So, as an intermediate lifter, what you need to decide is what exactly it is you want from your training. Do you want to focus specifically on strength? Maybe you want to focus specifically on a sport Maybe you're training for basketball and that's your primary goal. Maybe you want to focus on specifically gaining body mastery, so you're going to focus more on body weight fitness. Or are you just going to focus on gaining more mass and developing the best physique you can at this very moment? And of course, these goals can change, but when you're training, make sure you focus, and especially as an intermediate lifter, you're going to focus on one of these goals and just go very hard in that direction. So that is it for this part of the question, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the rest of the series.